one that is the exact same as the old one because I have a lot of my Plex video storage on
Meet the
drives
new
that
boss,
were
same as the old boss. Yes.
yeah, and they were internal drives that were using hardware RAID, and so I had to match the hardware that I had before so that I wouldn't lose that data. And so,
Whoa.
yeah, because it was a bunch. Because I've got a lot in Plex because we love it, and I've got these external drives, but I've been backing up, machines as I rebuild them to those drives. I've got a lot of duplicates. So what you're seeing right here is I'm actually running a Recurse LS on one of my external drives. I'm getting the file hash from the.
We'll make that bigger so folks can see that a little bit.
Yeah, let me make that bigger. There we go. So I'm getting the file hash. So by default, that does an SHA-256, a SHA-256 hash of the file itself, all of the content. So I'm basically hashing every file. I'm then grouping the output of the file hash based on the hash itself. So I'm going to duplicate, pull them down into individuals.
Right.
I'm then spitting that out and putting that out to an output file.
All right.
So what I'm going to end up having is the hash with a list of files that have the same hash. That means they're duplicates. And so then I can do a consolidation. And the reason that I need to do a consolidation is because I'm getting everything off of this RAID 0 onto external drives. I'll keep copies in both places, but I want to be able to run my Plex without having my server running.
So you're going to end up, you're essentially looking for the exceptions, right? Where there's not duplicates.
Right. And I'm going to be breaking back out, my little Intel NUC.
NUC.
Back in the day, I had the NUC. And I'm going to hook it up to my external drive and use it to run my Plex downstairs. So, and not to throw too much in there, but I'm coming back to the point that I'm going to start looking at doing ambient lighting again for my television because I'm going to have this computer downstairs.
Right.
And so this is a little capture dongle that takes an HDMI input.
I see that.
And puts it out to USB. And so I will have a program running on this Intel NUC that will take the signal that's going to my television.
Right.
And figure out what the colors are around the edges and turn on LCDs that I will have taped to the back of my television.
All right.
With that color.
With that color.
Yeah.
Oh, well, so how about that?
That's my plan.
So far, theoretically, it is sound.
Yes, it is sound.
It is sound. But so what can go wrong over here?
Wrong? Well, life.
Life. Besides life, that is. I think like if the dongle should work pretty much because it's the HDMI out. It's a USB in. Is there any driver issues that we have to care about? We really don't.
Not at all.
None of those kind of things, right? Because it's just data going in.
Just data coming in.
Right.
And I've got another dongle. I've used these types of dongles before. OBS reads them really easily. So I can play around with that. But they just show up as an input device in Windows. So Windows does all the hard lifting for me, heavy lifting.
Wow, very cool.
C#.
C#, Sharpie sharp. And slicing through the hashes to make sure things are going.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing there. That's PowerShell though.
This is PowerShell. I'm using PowerShell. I'm going to find the duplicate files so that I can remove them, so that I will make enough space so that I can transfer my. I can consolidate, right? Because we're all really bad about keeping multiple copies of the same file.
Yes.
and I copy them to the new computer, but then I don't clean up after myself once I've
Right.
used it because I want to wait a week to make sure that I haven't lost
Yeah, I
forgotten
have them like
anything
now
and
with
stuff
the
like that.
advent of the OneDrive and the advent of the file system and the advent of even the SharePoint list or Dropbox, you'll end up with the same file on your system because you have syncing going on. The
Right,
question is a sync a duplicate by its mere existence, or is it like it's just there because you don't want to delete the sync if you delete the original because your duplicate on your machine might be for another purpose
right.
or not, or should they be one file to rule them all across your box, your Dropbox, your OneDrive, and your all that stuff? How would you do that? If you ran the hash thing, these would
Yeah.
come out the same, or would
They
they?
would. Yes, they
Yeah,
would.
they'd come out the same. So
You just have a
if
different path.
you
Now,
have to watch out for your rules. If your rule says
exactly.
I delete something on my local, it should go and delete the top. Then you have the danger. I was trying to get rid of this, and oops, I got rid of the wrong one.
Yeah,
You know,
it's like in the cartoons when you're cutting the branch off,
the
but you're at
branches
the
and
end.
you're on the end, and it's like shoo. My favorite's when he does that in Bugs Bunny. First they do it and they fall, but then they try to do it again, and then the
Yeah,
tree falls, and the guy's thinking, I'm safe, and then the tree falls, and Bugs just laughing at him.
yeah,
That's usually the
yeah.
other one.
Cartoon physics are
Cartoon
awesome.
physics,
So
absolutely.
yeah. Anyway, what's weird is that you see a lot of these paths not found, and I just don't know why.
Hmm.
But it's fine. It's
But
it's
are
it's
they
going
really
through.
there? Is the question. It's looking for
Yeah.
a path, but how is it looking for this path? Is this like after the fact? It found the item, but now
So
it's trying to
the
find it after
LS,
it found it.
yeah, the LS did recursion, but probably it's when it's doing the file hash that it's not able to find the file. And they're gross files. I mean, look, this is, class path, $ closure, $ whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Oh, so you
Yeah,
know what it
dot
is
Gradle.
you probably have to encode. You probably have to encode the file names.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me. You
Yeah,
got to
these are
encode it.
all coming from, dot Gradle.
I mean, for one thing,
Uh,
I see spaces. I see things that essentially it's remember like good old SQL injection.
yeah.
Uh,
I see
things
dead
that are
people.
being blocked off. Pardon me.
Yeah. I see dead people.
I I see
Anyway,
nulls. I see nulls.
I
It's
see.
my favorite. Nulls are the most hated thing in the world for any data person.
Yes.
We hate them.
So anyway, that's what I'm doing right now is I'm not doing any deletions at this point. I'm just doing um,
So you basically
just testing.
have relegated yourself to like just saying a full acceptance of our robot masters who just took over the world
Absolutely.
last week, right?
Yes.
That's what
Yes.
happened last week, by the way. While we were gone in our vacation time, the robot masters have taken over the world. All hail them,
Yes.
by the way.
All hail
All
the
hail them.
robot
So,
masters.
what happened in the last 2 weeks? Holy smokes! For on
Chat
my end, I wanted to tell you
GPT.
that Chat GPT,
Gosh.
or like for Raquel, we're going to make a new version called Cat GPT.
Cat.
Cat GPT, yes, where everything comes out in the flavor of a cat. I think we showed that in our little demo where we tried it with the Chat GPT thing over there.
Yeah.
So Satya Nadella himself came out with like, here's all the stuff coming out from the Microsoft side. They have this thing now called Microsoft M365 Copilot. You know what I'm hearing a word a lot that's getting overused? Copilot.
Yeah.
Every time the GPT person's going to help you with something, it's a copilot. I'm going to build a low code thingy. You have a copilot for that. I'm going to write a legal document. You have a legal copilot. I'm going to write a SharePoint list. I'm going to have a SharePoint copilot. I'm going to make an Excel sheet for finance. I have a copilot. And now this stuff will write it for you to the point where, like, I'm telling you how crazy these things are going. I'm not going to share the link right now, but like on my case, the low code, where literally the person will talk and I mean type actually for now.
Right.
I mean, you can probably talk to it, listen, but the idea is they'll talk through and say, I want a solution that does this, right? And what it does is it not only in the past, it usually will like create like the bones of a solution, and then you'd have to go in and fill in the blanks. Now it goes beyond that. So imagine this: I want a solution. Think of this. Here's a concept. I want a solution that does HR processing for people that are onboarding. All right. So it's going to say, it might ask you, would you like that solution to be accessible to other people? It might ask you some basic questions that, like I say, a regular consultant would ask. That's the cool thing about the Chat GPT stuff. You don't have to actually write that code anymore. It goes and finds best practices. Every time someone asks this question, what are the things that consultants or other people have posted in their blogs or whatever that they would ask? It would go and ask those questions, get their answers, and then it would say, okay, how about this? And then what it does literally in the background, it creates the app as it's seen samples of, and then goes and gets sample data. This is the crazy part. It finds sample data on the net for the stuff and builds you the entire tables and everything else with the sample data ready to go. That's usually the hardest part. That last part is the holy smokes piece.
So build me an HR system
Oh, you're going to try from ChatGPT?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's going to do it. Yes, go ahead.
I don't know. To manage PTO for a medium-sized company. An HR system using, what do I want to use? I want to use Office 365, right?
Sure. Well, let's see what it says.
Start by creating a SharePoint site. Create another list.
Check it out, man.
Create a calendar. Configure. Train your HR. That's not bad.
So here's the thing. You saw those instructions, right? Now,
yes.
All I have to do now is add the flow commands to that. What's the first instruction? Create a SharePoint site. So I know the command to create a SharePoint site. Go do it. Create a list to store employee information. I know how to create one of those. I can go get a sample of employee information and dump it. Badoom. Okay, next one. What's the next thing into this? Create a workflow. Okay, I know how to create that. PTO request. I'll call it PTO request. Notify the employee's manager. I have my table. I created it. I simply point to the manager table and done. What's next? Configure the built-in email system. Oh, make that setting change. Or it'll tell me click here to accept the setting change.
Right.
Finally, train your staff. And then it'll be like, here's their website for training.
So what we've done is so this is level 1. Well, okay, let's get real. So this is 5 or 6 levels up because it was able to interpret what I wrote.
Yes.
And find relevant information about it. Then it was able to take that relevant information and distill it and give me a set of instructions. Now we're a step beyond that, where we're going to take something that's going to read that set of instructions and actually do it for us.
Exactly.
So it's the same thing that we've been doing forever, though. We're standing on the shoulders of giants here.
Exactly.
Right.
Let me share my screen over here and show you what I'm talking about here. On the videos. If you're going to look it up, look up the PowerCat team on YouTube over here, and you'll see over here. And this is the one that they're showing. They're showing cards, but here we have Boost Your Copilot with the chat bots. I'm actually going to show you this one. This is actually really cool. Copilot for Power Apps. This is the one where our friendly friend, he's looking a little, deer in the headlights over here, but he's not really. He's a smart guy. He's a good pretender at being deer in the headlights. This fellow walks him through and makes him create an app from scratch. This is the exact one to look at. And you're looking over here with GPT with AI Builder. A lot of this is based on the announcements, but I'm going to show you this one over here. This one is way too compelling.
And we'll link to it in the
show notes. Let me go and find a suitable tenant to do this in. Let's see now. Shall I do it with Dan? Shall I do it with? I'll do it with this guy. Hold on a second.
And we unfortunately have to
bail soon
at the top of the hour. So
BBA that let's see. Power VA. Here we go. Power VA. Oh, actually, so let me do this. Let me go to the Power Apps page over here real quick.
Sure.
Because a lot of this stuff is in preview. Folks that have Power Apps at home or working, and I want to sign in here real quick. What's going on? Hey, why didn't you sign in? You can actually probably do this to the chagrin of your administrator if you have enough access. But here it is. So in my case, I have a lot of powers over here in this particular tenant. So I have like a dev tenant. Let me go to just another piece over here. All right. So this is what it is. As you can see in Power Apps, I can easily just make a bot. Right. So right over here are bots to choose from.
Chatbots.
So I go ahead. I'm going to make a chatbot. Right. So well, let's hold on a second. Let's let the screen freshen up a little bit so you can see what the choices are. This will be very, very fast. I assure you, as long as this guy returns. Man, I'm tired of waiting. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Now that I know that he's provisioned, because I think I picked a guy that hasn't done this before, but this is going to be fast. All right. Here we go. And that was the link I was trying to remember off the bat here.
Yeah.
All right. Give it a moment. It looks like it's still provisioning. Come on. I had to pick the wrong guy, but let's hold on a second. I mean, the reason why I picked him is I wanted to be, it's like, so let me close out this bot right over here, because here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get started with the area, and I'm going to close this out for a moment. Yep, I got it. All right. So over here, I'm going to make a new bot. This is Power Virtual Agents, which is like your quickie bot maker. All right.
Okay.
All right. So now we have this in preview. Everyone can see this. It says try the unified canvas, which is basically saying both Azure people, high dev people like ourselves, which do stuff in YAML files, or regular folks can use the same experience. So it tells you it's in preview. Here's all the conditions. Have fun. So what's the name of my bot? I'm going to call it the, what is it? The Cloud Talk Show bot. Okay, and here's what I'm going to do. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to HTTPS. I'm sorry. I'm just going to go to cloudtalkshow.com. That's it. All right.
All right.
I'm creating a bot to our Cloud Talk Show. Okay, just watch it. All right. I didn't make any topics. I didn't do anything. What it's going to do, this is taking what used to be like point to a FAQ page, and I will create a bunch of topics for you. And then it's up to you now to click and pick the topics from it. When you did it before, you could be overwhelmed by too many topics, or it could give you topics that most of them were not really relevant, or, like, well, I like them all, or I don't know, blah, 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 but you still had to do manual work.
Right.
Hold on a second. Be patient. We're almost done. This is why I'm telling you our robot masters are in charge. Give it a moment. Now, while we're waiting, we can go and take a look at cloudtalkshow.com and see if that's still alive.
It should be. I think it's out of date.
Maybe out of date. That's okay. But over here, okay, so I see names. I wonder if there's anything else. Oh, there's an about. Okay, good. Okay, this is actually good. So actually, I'm glad there's an about. So let's take a look. All right, here we go. He's coming back. He's coming back now. He's coming back. All right, that's fine. I don't need to know about the new features. He's done. All right. Hey, let's test him. All right, let's go test him. Test the bot. All right, and there's Copilot, by the way, the authoring. You can even author the topics, and you could say, respond to the user like a Renaissance fair man, and it'll do that for you. But let's do this. It's like, who is Larry Smithmier? Did I spell that right?
M-I-E-R. You've got an extra E in there.
Where did I put that E? Hold on a second.
You've got M-E-I-E-R, and that's the way it probably should be spelled, but it's M-I-E-R is the way that.
I-E, yes. I wonder if it'll care.
Grandparents did.
All right.
Or great-grandparents. Or
check it out. What does it say?
There we go. It pulls from the About page. Yeah.
Let's try this. Misspellings and all.
Wow.
Check it out. Look what it did. Look how it answered. Yes, we have a few shows about cloud
Deep
frameworks.
thoughts,
check out Cloud Episode, Deep Thoughts, and Cloud Frameworks and Low Code. Check it out.
Very cool.
How long did it take for us to come up with this
and that
website?
Was zero.
You know what you know what I can take about this bot? I can take the URL, add like a little authentication piece to it, put it on our website, and we have a bot that now helps people come to our website and find stuff and talks in this language. That's
Very
it.
cool.
That's my demo. Hold on.
Mic drop.
Badoom. Badoom. That's my demo. That's it.
That's
It's
pretty
because, but
cool.
dude, let's hold on a second. What do you think about Larry? Let's see if it asks me. I'm sorry, he's not sure how to help with that. So that makes more sense. Now he's not
Yeah.
he's not retrieving his bounds, right? This is
Right.
what's called the AI. There's a rule for this. It's
So it's
called
in a walled
essentially.
garden.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
So
So
it's not going outside of the URL that we gave it.
yes, exactly. Remember, remember we had that question, we could have asked that question outside in the Chat GPT, which is looking at everything. This is focused, and there we go. So there's me over here.
Cool.
Over say which show had only Ralph in it? Let's see if there's any. Check it out. There was a show with only Ralph in it, and it found it.
Wow.
It found it. How about that one? I was like, I forgot. There was a show with only Ralph in it. Which one was it? But look, it's ready to go. It's ready to go, dude.
I like it.
And so I'm telling you all, hail our robot masters. That's how. This is what changed over just the last couple of weeks. The tools are ridiculously easy now. And I do suggest when we give you the links to folks, just follow up. And even though it's in the Microsoft vein, just imagine though, if Microsoft's doing this, your favorite friends from other places are probably doing this as well. It's just that Microsoft seems to be the first one to come out and say, we're doing this for everything that we do. Right. They're literally saying it.
And the reason is that the layers, right, the tools required are so easy to implement, as you just showed, right? I mean, we've refined them to the point that really it's becoming ubiquitous, and it should be, right? We that's what we really want. What we want these things are, we want these to be helpers. And the only way that they can actually be helpers is if they are easy to use.
Indeed.
Cool.
So just to take a look at this really quick demo over here. This is what's called the helper, the Copilot. Well, remember we had GitHub Copilot. That was the one that started a lot of the Copilot-y expressions. But look what it's doing. It's generating output. Here we go. Copilot. Look at it. Draft me a product. I guess they're not calling it Cortana. Copilot generating outputs. Let's make this a big screen for a moment. There's no music going on right now because I don't want us to be tagged again. Because I bet if I use their music that they have here, they probably license it, which means when we use it, it'll be like unlicensed. But we're just looking at the quickie back and forth, and it's just showing generating the output. Check it out. Look at this, where it makes a whole slide deck with all the pictures and everything ready to go, where it creates data where you didn't have data from wherever it could grab data. No, it's not going to go flippies like the blinds. Obviously not. Maybe not yet, but for now. You're got to be sure that when you're getting a reply from Ralph, he didn't use Copilot to reply to you.
I love it. Well, maybe what I need to do then is just work on getting my Copilot skills up to the point I can automate all of my jobs so that I don't actually have to do anything.
So there'll always be the human that's in there, but at least, how do we say it, 90%. We talk about acceleration. We're now to the point where like maybe 80, 90% of the stuff that we're doing essentially gets taken care of. The only thing is that there's always going to be some funkiness. So you saw, for example, there's the answer about Larry, but it's taking the information straight off the website. Garbage in, garbage out. If that website was wrong, the information about Larry, guess what, is wrong too. As an example.
All right. Well,
how about that? Good way to end it.
Let's end it. Let's cut it off. Let's run away.
Okay.
Short show, but glad to be back.
Yes, glad to be back. Hopefully, we're going to have a guest. We're looking forward to doing something pretty soon. I'll update you on all my news coming up.
Yeah, we might be off next week. We'll see.
Oh yeah, next week might be an off week. There's Easter and other things coming up. We're approaching the seasons where we're going to be in and out, but hey, we're going to be here as often as we can.
And I start a new contract on Tuesday. So we'll see.
Congratulations.
All right. Thanks all.
All right. Bye-bye.
Have a good weekend. Bye.
Take us out, Raquel.